Surprise, surprise, there's no Hero 14 this year. In fact, this year's flagship camera for GoPro is the much rumored Max 2 360 camera. I've spent a week with it so far, and here are the main things that have stood out to me. Max 2 now shoots at up to 8K at 30 frames per second in 360 mode, and that 8K is available across all video modes, which includes time-lapse and hyperlapse. Now, if you want to punch that out into something flat and shareable, that's going to be a maximum of 4K at 30 frames per second, but you can increase that to 4K 60 frames per second if you use single lens mode, which used to be known as GoPro mode, and these specs are about on par with the Insta360 X5. DJI's Osmo 360, on the other hand, will go up to 8K at 50 frames per second, which translates to a 5K 60 frames per second maximum punch out. GoPro's claim here, though, is that Max 2 is the only camera to offer true 8K, and by that they're saying that they don't count any unusable pixels that are used for overlapping for stitching or that are black on the sensor. And in real terms, this results in something between like 16 and 20% extra resolution over its rivals. Now, one thing's for sure, though, is that 8K is a decent upgrade from the 5.6K of the original Max. Why don't we take a look at what the camera can actually do? Another thing that Max 2 has in common with the X5 at least is replaceable lenses. Now 360 cameras are always a little bit tricky to handle, and setting them down is a bit risky, especially as there's lenses on both sides, so they're kind of extra prone to scratching. With Max 2, however, simply twist it, take it off, and you can pop on a new one. Now DJI's Osmo 360 requires you to send the camera back to the company if you want to swap them out. The original Max has been out for a few years now, and that means GoPro's had plenty of time to refine Quick, its mobile editing app. Now, whatever 360 camera you have, you're going to have to do some editing if you want to turn it into something that you can share with friends and family. Now, fortunately, Quick is pretty simple to use, fairly intuitive. It's really easy to reframe videos for YouTube or for Instagram, change those aspect ratios, and there are even some neat effects too. There is a small learning curve, as there is with all of these things, but going from camera to sharing is pretty straightforward. And if you want to turn a one-shot video into something creative and dynamic, you can easily do that with Quick. Now let's talk about stitch lines. They're kind of a fact of life for 360 video, although it's got better over the years. Now Max 2 does a pretty decent job at hiding them, but they are going to pop up from time to time, and it's going to depend largely on how you're shooting your footage. Now Max 2 also has some pro features like time sync and GP log, and with the Quick app there's plenty of tools for creators and vloggers too. And at $500 it's fairly competitively priced compared to its competition, which makes it an interesting deal depending on your needs. If you do want to know more, you can read my full review at engadget.com, but in the meantime, get out there and go create.